Hi there, this is Timothy Dolan, futurist public policy guy, long-term public policy, hence a futurist, and wanted to speak directly to my audience. Hopefully this will go out to more than a select few regarding our coming 2020 election here in the United States and why it is so very consequential. It is consequential, highly consequential, and I'm speaking long-term for three reasons. The first and most immediate is that we need to remove the current inhabitant of the White House, who is doing nothing to help this country nor help the world at any level whatsoever. And we need to then spend probably the next 10 to 20 years recovering from this particular episode in our country. So that's, I think, pretty obvious and self-evident, and I wouldn't be putting this out if it were for that reason alone. I think there's plenty of messages out there already, and a candidate in the form of Joe Biden who is perfectly capable of getting his own message out. There is a second reason why this election is consequential, and that has to do with what happened during the Obama administration, which was for the first 2 years of his 8-year administration, he was able to at least get some landmark legislation done, most notably the Affordable Care Act, which has been now whittled away and neglected for well over 10 years, 12 years. And the reason that the Obama administration wasn't able to do more, which would have been great, including regulatory reform, campaign finance reform, gun control, sensible gun control, and other obvious initiatives that would be beneficial to the country, was that you had both the House and Senate controlled by the opposition party, who were hell-bent on preventing anything from happening. This was extremely damaging, and one of the more consequential results of that is the shift in the federal courts to extremely conservative, not always qualified federal judges, and the blocking of a Supreme Court justice by the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell. So the second reason is that when you vote, you don't vote just for president. You need to also vote for a Congress that will be supporting the next administration in an affirmative way. And that includes, by the way, down ballot races for state legislatures. Become educated about that and vote accordingly, because that leads to the third issue and the third consequence. 2020 is a year that we are conducting our census. Why are we conducting our census? It is constitutionally mandated for the purposes of determining representative districts, congressional districts. Congressional districts are largely formed by, unfortunately, partisan commissions, usually determined by a state legislature and or governor. And as a result, there tends to be terrible gerrymandering where we get unrepresentative districts, a perversion of democracy, and that can only be remedied if you get reform legislators into the state houses. And again, that's why, as a futurist, I'm looking ahead at least for the next 10 years. This will affect the next 10 years of our nation's life if we do not take necessary action as voters to install competent people who understand their constitutional duties and who will enact basic reforms and change the electoral map so that it represents the people of the United States. So there are the three reasons. The most immediately, getting rid of Trump. The second reason is flipping the Senate and retaining the House of Representatives so that we can get an administration that can get things done without blockage from an opposition party holding one of those houses. And then the third reason is because it is a redistricting year, we need to return democracy back to this country. We are a patently undemocratic country given the electoral map as it currently stands. So we have a duty. We have a duty as citizens, and I hope we take that to heart. And I appreciate your listening, and I hope this spurs some action. If it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 25 votes, way cool. Thanks again. Tim Dolan signing off. Aloha.